Today's Santa for the Advent calendar is, well, let's just say he's different.
That's it. Just around the front of the sleigh and then back him in and let's see if he'll take off. That's it. Back him in. Bring him in.
I'm going to change up the way I usually do things in these videos, and I'm going to hit the biography of the actor last. Trust me, there's a very good reason for that. Instead, let's talk about the movie first. 1972's Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny is a cultural oddity. It was filmed on location in Florida theme park Pirates World, a park which today is mostly remembered either for its odd and seemingly life-endangering steeplechase ride, and the fact that during the 1970s, it was a top-notch rock concert venue. The movie blends filmed versions of theme park shows with a frame story featuring Santa Claus. It has the distinction of being the last film shot at Pirates World, which closed for good in 1975. Yes, I said the last film, not the first film. Apparently, that distinction goes to the short films of Thumbelina and Jack and the Beanstalk, which were released on their own. You'll see one of those stories depending on which print of the movie you're watching. And there are rumors that I've heard that there was actually an edit released with both of those stories in it, but to my knowledge, none of those prints have ever surfaced. The movie also features a cameo by the characters of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, who apparently appear because director Barry Mann was attempting to shoot a Tom Sawyer film at the same time that wound up being abandoned in favor of completing Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. And oh yes, Barry Mann directed. Barry Mann, whose name is familiar to shock cinema lovers the world over. The Bakersfield, California native served as a pilot officer in the Royal Air Force during World War II. His transition into the film industry began shortly after he returned from the war, when he was hired initially as Errol Flynn's personal pilot, and then later was signed by Flynn to be his manager. He produced several films starring Errol Flynn and Gina Lollobrigida, but he's most remembered by B-movie fans for a string of exploitation films with titles such as Cuban Rebel Girls, Rocket Attack USA, and of course, Bunny Yeager's Nude Las Vegas, before he settled into a run of children's films in the 1970s. His contributions to the industry as a whole are even more lasting, however, as he was the one who established The Production Machine, which was the first film production company in Hollywood to adapt and apply computer technology to streamline the filmmaking process.
Everybody gather in a little closer. Come on. That's fine. And I'll tell you a story that proves that if you have faith, then all your dreams will come true. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl named Thumbelina who escaped from her kidnappers.
Talking about Santa's performance. Santa is played by Jay Ripley, acting under the name Jay Clark. And he appears to be doing his best not to suffocate, and he appears to be doing his absolute best to not suffocate while wearing a full Santa hat and beard on a sweltering Florida beach. His Santa is wackadoodle the word I'm looking for? I'm going with the word wackadoodle. Desperate to make it back to home, Santa calls on the local children to help drag his sleigh out of the sand. The kids then proceed to bring a string of animals to Santa's sleigh to try to help pull it out. When the kids are frustrated that their plan doesn't work, Santa switches into comforting the children mode. And he tells them, again, depending on which print of the film you're watching, either the story of Thumbelina or the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, with the final conclusion being that you have to believe. At which point, the sweating, blustering Santa Claus, who is very clearly wearing sunglasses in some of the long shots, is saved by the appearance of beloved Pirates World mascot, the Ice Cream Bunny.
And you rebel, you old hound, you were the one who helped, weren't you? Were you the one that brought the ice cream bunny to help me out of my predicament? Well, old friend, I'm surely glad that you've come to help.
Now, getting into Jay Ripley's bio, Jay Ripley, the actor portraying Santa, was born in 1953 in the USA? Maybe? Which is why we're covering the biography here at the end of the video. See, I've been very happy in this series to bring you the stories of Armand Mothra and Jose Elias Moreno, both actors who were very well known and very well loved and respected in their home countries, but who were virtually unknown in the English-speaking world. But when I searched through my usual sources and even beyond my usual sources, there's only two things they can agree on when it comes to Jay Ripley. The first is that he was born in 1953 somewhere in the United States. And the second is that he had a fistful of credits consisting almost entirely of westerns and appearances on shows set in the American South. Perhaps the best known credit on his resume is that he appeared as Harold Parmalee in 1969's True Grit, but he also appears as multiple characters in Petticoat Junction and guest starred on Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and The Dukes of Hazzard, among other roles. So he's not just a local actor who faded into obscurity after his single film role. He had a film and television career that included How the West Was Won and The Waltons. He's in Norwood with Glenn Campbell and Joe Namath. If you have Disney Plus, you can actually see one of his last credited roles as an unnamed young soldier in The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. All of this said, why are these two sentences his only biography on the IMDb? And as for the birth date, I'm not 100% certain. It's possible if he was born in 1953, that would mean that he was 18 or 19 when he was playing Santa Claus. Maybe. It's impossible to know what Santa looks like underneath all of that fake hair. But I can show you what Jay Ripley looked like in 1966 in Betty Jo's Bike, one of his episodes of Petticoat Junction. If the 1953 birth date is correct, then this would have been filmed when he was about 13 or 14 years old.
No, sir. I don't like the idea of you racing around the countryside on this thing.
Miss Bradley, it don't go faster than 6 miles an hour.
6 miles an hour?
Well, downhill.
I'll give you 19 for it.
$22.50.
Mom, $20 for a motorbike is a real bargain.
21, it's got a gallon of gas in it.
That's not impossible. I mean, he looks young. I just don't know if he looks 14 years old young. His first role was in a film called Young Fury when he would have been 11. Again, maybe that's not a bad age for a young actor to begin appearing. His character in Bonanza was also apparently a, quote, naive young kid from Texas, end quote, in the episode A Good Night's Rest, which would have been when he was 12. This is all possible. Possible. But I can't even lock down where he was born, so it's kind of hard to confirm when he was born. There doesn't appear to be a solid biography of Jay Ripley anywhere that I can find it. And since we never see him without the beard and wig and hat in Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, I don't know for certain that that's an 18 or 19-year-old under all of that. It could also very easily just have been some guy who happened to have the same name. That happens a lot with things like the IMDb and Wikipedia and other online resources. People with the same or similar names wind up getting their resumes and biographies blended together. I guess what I'm trying to say is I have spent days digging as deep as I could in order to find out who Jay Ripley is, and all I am left with is the question, who the hell is Jay Ripley? Do you know who the hell Jay Ripley was? If you do, please feel free to help ease my mind by dropping it into the comments below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe while you're down there, and hit that bell for notifications. As always, I am the Film Optimist, encouraging you to watch like it means something, and take care of yourself. Because you know I'm not there to take care of you.